I really like posters. I like big, bold shapes, big blocks of flat color, not much detail, and a lot of contrast. This poster look is an approach that I sometimes use in my paintings, and that's what you're going to see today. This is the photo I'm going to be working from. I found this online and something about it just grabbed me, and I thought this would make a fun poster. So I did my usual Photoshop tweak. Usually I'll do the posterize filter at like 7 levels, but this time I took it down to 4. That removes a lot more detail and makes it even more poster-like. So then I took the black and white image and in Photoshop started adding color and experimenting until I got what I liked. This is what I liked, and this is what I'm going to paint from. After transferring the big shapes of the image onto canvas with pencil, then I cover the whole thing with an acrylic wash. And while that's drying, I start mixing my colors. I'm starting with the darkest shadows, and in this case it's really easy because they're all black. And if you watched my video, don't use black to darken your colors. I just want to point out this is a whole different thing, because I'm going for a poster-like effect here, so I actually don't want a natural-looking shadow, just to be clear. One of the big attractions for me of this kind of painting is that it's fun and relatively easy. There's very little detail, well, except for all those tiles on the wall, but mostly I'm just filling in predefined areas with color. This is the kind of painting I like to do after having done a really big, challenging painting because it's kind of like a vacation. It's the kind of thing you can have a lot of fun with and still have a pretty good shot at ending up with something that you like. Here I'm starting to put in the medium flesh tone, and almost immediately I see that it's too vivid and too red. So I tone it down and make it more of a neutral tan, but that's not really working either. But I need to let it dry to be sure. In the meantime, I start adding the medium light flesh tones, and what looked good on the palette now looks too bright and too orangey. But I'm going to let it dry because that will change it. So while it's drying, I go back to the medium flesh tone, and this is a mix of the two that I tried before, the red and the neutral. I put them together and get something that I like a lot more. I think this will work. Now back to the orangey medium light flesh tones. I mix up another version that's less orangey and more neutral tan, and I try that out on the face, and I like it. So I go ahead and cover up all the orangey areas with this new neutral tan, and now I think it's looking much better. This kind of back and forth, trying one mix and then trying another until you get something that works, happens a lot with this kind of painting. Yes, painting in areas of flat color seems pretty simple and easy, But the trick is getting the color right, and more importantly, getting the value right. If it's too light or it's too dark, it's not going to work. And when you factor in acrylic drying darker, it makes it even more complicated. So this is just part of the deal with this kind of painting. Here's another instance of what I was talking about earlier. I made all the lights pure white, and I thought that would work because it worked in the photoshopped image. But in the painting, I ended up not liking it so much. So I mix up a very, very light flesh tone, and I mean I added just a drop of flesh tone, pure white, to get this. But it tones down the whites on the body just enough to give me the look I'm going for. So then I cover all the whites on the body with that, and I like the whole thing a lot better. And that's the final painting. I call it In a Mexican Bathroom, although I really don't know where it was. And you can see it now on my website. That's it for today. I hope you liked watching me paint. Maybe you got some ideas. And if you'd like to try this approach, go for it. It's a lot of fun. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That inspires me to do more videos. And if you got a little inspired watching me paint, great! Put on your boroboros and go paint!